I'm Olivia Burklow.
And I'm Madeline Degenhart. Welcome to WPSR News. Richard Miller will be bringing us national and EVSC sports updates. Here's what's going on in and around the tri-state. Over 2,600 people have been killed after an earthquake rocked Morocco last Friday, September 9th, and the death toll is expected to rise. Thousands were injured as the quake was the strongest to hit the nation in more than a century. Morocco's King Mohammed VI ordered mosques nationwide to hold funeral prayers on Sunday. Offers of assistance have been pouring in from around the world, including the U.S. officials at the American Embassy in the Moroccan capital say, quote, "They're not aware of any American fatalities," end quote. This past Monday marked the 22nd anniversary of the 9/11 terrorist attacks, and the 9/11 memorial ceremonies were held in New York City, Arlington, Virginia, and Shanksville, Pennsylvania to honor nearly 3,000 people killed on that fateful day. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin was in attendance at the Pentagon Memorial. Vice President Kamala Harris attended a ceremony in the 9/11 memorial in New York City, and the second gentleman was in Shanksville for the victims of United 93.
In local news, Newburgh community members rediscovered a piece of their history within a time capsule. The time capsule was rediscovered while tearing down the old Newburgh Presbyterian Church. This piece of history in a steel box is dated back to the 1960s, but some items dated all the way back to the 1930s during the early days of the church. Officials say there were old church registries inside, as well as old photographs and CDs. The president of the Newburgh Museum, Jeremy Corba, says, quote, "The opening was much anticipated by the town," end quote. Throughout the end of the year, the contents will be displayed at the Newburgh Museum. The 102nd Westside Nut Club Fall Festival will commence in just 3 weeks on October 2nd, 2023. Wristbands will be available for $30 each at one of the various ticket booths along Franklin Street. However, this year you can save $5 if you buy wristbands from now to the 1st of October. Early access to these wristbands will be only available online through the North American Midway Entertainment website. Purchasing these wristbands online will require a transaction fee of $2.99. You will only be able to use these wristbands the day that you purchase them. So if you go multiple days, you will have to repurchase. Now we are going to toss it to WPSR's Kaelyn Austin, who has a very exciting live interview in the WPSR studios.
Hi, my name is Chris Gibson. I'm principal of New Tech Institute High School. I love the New Tech community, all of the students and the staff and the parents. It's just a great community of people. We're a close-knit family, really. I know that sometimes that sounds kind of funny to say, but New Tech really is a family. And so I think the people are what I like the most about New Tech. I think just managing everything and being accessible to everybody while at the same time making sure that things happen. And, you know, in a smaller school, we all have a lot of different roles. Like Mrs. Kraft, our secretary, is the secretary and the counselor secretary, the athletic secretary, the attendance person. So we all have a lot of roles. So I think the biggest challenge is just managing all of those roles and trying to do, you know, a variety of things and do them well.
How does it feel to be principal of the year?
It's a great honor, and it's very humbling, and the two other nominees were just as deserving. So, it's very humbling, and I'm very appreciative of it, but it's very much a team kind of thing. I always believe that, any leader is as good as their team. So really for me, the team that we have is great. So I attribute that to the team that we have here at New Tech.
Thanks, Kaelyn. The first teaser is being released for DC's Aquaman in the Lost Kingdom. The film is a sequel to 2018's Aquaman and sees Jason Momoa returning as Arthur Curry. Aquaman will go back to battle with the Black Manta once again, played by Yahya Abdul-Mateen, as the villain looks to get revenge for his father's death. The rest of the cast includes Patrick Wilson, Nicole Kidman, and Amber Heard, whose scenes were reportedly reduced because of chemistry issues with her and Momoa. Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom hits theaters on December 20th.
Over the past week, I had the opportunity to research the correlation between students taking creative art classes and academic success. According to the Public School Review, in fact, students in the arts outperformed their peers by a wide margin. 14% more students were proficient in English, 20% more were proficient in math, 16% more were proficient in science, and 16% more were proficient in social studies. Today, I will be interviewing STEM and creative basic classes to test this theory. What was the first state in the United States?
Virginia.
Oh, sorry. Here.
Virginia.
It was Delaware. So in a basketball game, how many players from each team are on the court at the same time?
5.
That is correct. Who is the first female pilot to fly solo across the Atlantic?
Amelia Earhart.
Correct. And what was the first soft drink in space?
Just gonna guess Coke.
Yes, it was Coca-Cola. What is the longest river in the world?
The Nile River.
That's correct. And finally, which European country uses the pound as its form of currency?
The UK.
Yes, that's correct. Thank you. How is water written scientifically?
H2O.
That is correct. John Lennon is one of the 4 sacred members of?
The Beatles.
That is correct. Name the 3 branches of the United States government.
Oh, no.
Do you really not know?
I don't think. No. Legislative.
It's the executive, legislative, and judicial branches.
I have an econ class.
How many states are in the United States?
50.
That's correct. For WPSR News, I'm Olivia Burklow.
WPSR's Richard Miller is live in our studios with last week's sports updates. Richard?
Thanks, Madeline. In sports, we have exciting news for F.J. Wright's high school football player, Roland Vera Jr. The strong safety and wide receiver for the team set a new school record last Friday night against North High School with 225 receiving yards. He also tied the school record with 15 receptions. Wrights won the game 24-7. The Indianapolis Colts opened the season at home against the Jaguars. However, they got off on a rocky start, losing 31-21. But all hope was not lost with Zaire Franklin, linebacker for the Colts, being named player of the game with 18 tackles and 8 assists. Madeline?
Thanks, Richard. Here's a glimpse into our weekend weather forecast. On Friday, we'll have perfect weather for some high school football. Bright sunny skies and moderate temperatures with a high of 76 and an overnight low of 54. Saturday, it'll be mostly sunny with a high of 78, low of 55, and a light breeze passing throughout the day. And Sunday, we'll see similar conditions to Saturday with a high of 78 and a low at 56, along with a 20% chance of rain in the evening. Thanks for watching the first episode of WPSR News.
Make sure to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook at 90.7 WPSR.
For Richard Miller, Kaelyn Austin, and all of us here at WPSR News, I'm Madeline Degenhart.
And I'm Olivia Burklow.